Historically, in Elestrals, artifacts have always been the weakest thing that you can play. Well, that is, until today. Hello, I'm Constellation Gaming, and today on Decklist December, we'll be taking a look at ICY-HOT Control. The goal of this deck is to utilize the abilities of our Elestrals to use and abuse omnicolored artifacts to take control of the board. To start off the Elestrals, we have our mandatory 3-copy of Astrabbit. 2-5 that states when this Astrabbit receives one or more Thunder Spirit, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add one to your hand, and shuffle the rest into your deck. Astrabbit is an extremely strong card that allows you to cycle through your deck, and also is a great wall. Next we have 3 copies of Eddy, a 4/1 water Celestial that states when you cast this Eddy, you can change the position of an Celestial. When you cast Rock in a Hard Place, you can special ascend this Eddy into Curibus for hand or deck. Just like most decks, we're not really running Curibus. We really only care about the first portion of his ability. However, Eddy is just so strong in his ability to get around every single counter rune in the game except for Gorgon's Gaze that he's an auto-include 3 of in most decks, kinda like Rabbit. The next Elestral we're playing 2 copies of, even though it is probably one of the most critical Elestrals in this deck and ties together the deck very well. We're playing 2 copies of Cybermelt, a 4/1 solar Elestral that states when you cast this Cybermelt, you can search your deck for a Golden Fleece and cast it empowering this Cybermelt. You can cast it using spirits from either your spirit deck or the Underworld to cast this Golden Fleece. Now the one thing about this Cybermelt that you might notice is the fact that it doesn't state that Golden Fleece has to be properly enchanted, so you can use any spirits that you would like from your Underworld to enchant this Golden Fleece, and that is the concept that we will use in order to move forward and look at our next Elestrals. To pair with this Cybermelt, we're playing 2 copies of Broomalinx, a 3/5 Frost Elestral that states you can Nexus up to 2 Frost. When you do, target a non-stadium rune. If it's face up, turn it face down. That rune cannot be cast as long as Broomalinx is enchanted. This is kind of our less powerful Equalinx if we're being honest. However, Equalinx being limited to 1 makes it so it's not nearly as reliable, and Broomalinx is still very strong with its 5 defense body and can hold the board. The next Celestial we're playing to pair with Cybermel's ability is 2 copies of Kinleo. Kinleo is a 3/1 fire Celestial that states you can Nexus 2 fire spirits. When you do, you can target and destroy an opponent's Celestial. So keeping in mind that Cybermel does not have to use a properly enchanted Golden Fleece, you can use his ability to bring out Golden Fleece and essentially have a free Nexus bank for either one of these 2 to Nexus off of any time that you cast it. In order to finish off the Elestrals, we'll be playing a small package centered around Rhynymph, a 1/5 Frost Celestial that states you can expend 1 Frost in order to move this Rhynymph into your rune row. It becomes an artifact rune empowering an Celestial of choice. The empowered Celestial is suppressed and gets -2 defense. To pair with this, we are playing Rhinosect, a 8/5 2-drop Frost Celestial that states this Rhinosect can be special cast from your hand if you have a card that is originally an Celestial in your rune row, hence our Rhynymph. You can target and destroy an empowered Celestial. So that means that you can always hard ascend over something, and then if it is empowered by one of your other artifacts, you can destroy it, or if it is empowered by the Rhynymph, you can easily special cast your Rhinosect and destroy whatever. To make sure that Rhynymph is not a dead card, even when we don't have a Rhinosect, we're playing 2 copies of Heliolith, a 5/5 2-drop solar Celestial that states this Heliolith can be normal cast with 2 solar spirits if an artifact is enchanted. Rhynymph does become an artifact rune, so Rhynymph will pair with Heliolith in this manner. Mm. When you cast this Heliolith, you can return an Alestral on the field to its owner's hand. So essentially, you get to play Shield of Achilles on a body that doesn't have to be destroyed. Extremely potent, can also pair well with Cybermel's ability to bring out Golden Fleece and other cards that we're playing inside of this deck. So Heliolith is an extremely strong card. Before we continue, I do want to remind everybody that I will be giving away a Reverse Stellar Exaltus at 100 subscribers. All you have to do to enter to win this beautiful card is like the video and subscribe to the channel, and you will be entered. Without further ado, let's get back to the video. To start off the runes, we have 3 copies of Ambrosia, a 1-cost Omni rune that states return up to 3 spirits from your underworld to your spirit deck. Ambrosia is extremely strong in every single deck, considering the fact that everything you play costs your life, but it is also very impactful in this deck since our spirit math can be a little wonky at times since we're playing so many different colors. For removal, we're playing 3 copies of Cryoblast, a 1-cost Frost Invoke rune that states target an Celestial that is not Frost Enchanted. Until the end phase, give it -2 defense, and when that Celestial has 0 defense, you must destroy it. Cryoblast is extremely relevant right now due to the fact that Fives is running around everywhere, and this deals with almost everything that it wants to play, even Galaxy, considering that its defense stat is its quote-unquote attack stat, so Cryoblast can allow you to easily attack over Galaxy, even though it doesn't kill it necessarily. Next, we're playing 1 copy of Resting on Your Laurels. It states this Resting on Your Laurels can only be cast if an opponent has at least 2 or more enchanting spirits. Then you do target and destroy that Alestral with the least amount of enchanting spirits on your opponent's board. To finish off the removal and to start off the counter runes, we have 3 copies of Poison Tipped Arrow, a 1-cost Omni rune that states this Poison Tipped Arrow can only be cast when an opponent casts an Alestral. Target it and give it -2 attack. Excuse me. Until the end phase, you can expend equal to that Alestral's enchantment cost in order to destroy it. Since we have smaller bodies, PTA can help our guys survive a turn, but also we're mainly playing it for the sake of removal. We're playing 3 copies of Gorgon's Gaze, a 2-cost Omni rune that states target an Alestral. If its an effect is on the chain, negate it. Until the end phase, that Alestral is suppressed and cannot receive enchantments, attack, nexus, or ascend. Gorgon's Gaze pretty much says no to anything an Alestral might even consider doing, so it's ran in every single deck as a 3 of regardless. And we're playing 2 copies, my bad, of Tsunami, a 1-cost water counter rune that states change all Alestrals to defense position unless they're water enchanted. So it will blank an entire combat phase unless they're water enchanted, essentially like a fog from Magic the Gathering. Next, we're running an Argo package with 2 copies of Argo, a 2-cost Omni rune that states this Argo can be cast after an Alestral declares an attack. Cast an artifact rune from your hand or deck. In order to pair with this Argo, we're playing our 2 copies of the previously mentioned Golden Fleece. This states the empowered Alestral gets +2 defense. If the empowered Alestral would be destroyed in battle by an opponent's card effect, you may destroy this Golden Fleece instead. A very powerful ability that we do have the ability to properly enchant, and also the fact that this pairs with Cybermel and Argo means that it is an extremely strong play in this deck. We're playing 1 copy of Necklace of Harmonia, a 2-cost Omni rune that states the empowered Alestral gets +5 attack. During their end phase, the controller of the empowered Alestral must expend 2. If they cannot, this Necklace of Harmonia is destroyed. A surprise ability to get over Alestrals in combat, since we do have the smaller Alestrals, Harmonia does add a very big attack buff to them and can easily swing the game in our favor, not to mention the fact that since it is an Omni Rune, we can enchant it however we want to abuse our Nexus Alestrals. And one copy of Poison Tunic, a 2-cost Omni Rune that states the Empowered Celestial gets -2 attack. When the Empowered Celestial is destroyed in battle, its controller must expend 2. So again, similar to Necklace of Harmonia, can allow us to get over other opponents' Celestials surprisingly mid-combat, and also can make them burn for 2. If we don't happen to kill anything, this can also just easily serve as the Nexus Bank if drawn into hand. Moving on to the Spirit deck, we have 2 copies of Zaptor for our Aster Rabbit. We have 2 copies of Leviathan for our Eddies and for our Tsunami. We have 4 Vipyro for our Kinleo, and in order to use the Nexus Banks and its Kinleo's effect, we have 5 Luminape for our Heliolith and our Cybermaw, and also our Golden Fleece if we desire. And we have 7 Flurmine for our Rhino package, our Broomalings, and also in order to have spirits to Nexus off of with Broomalings. That's the deck. What do you think? Would you play ICY-HOT Control? Comment down below. And if you like videos like this, make sure to subscribe as I do put out content daily. I will see you tomorrow for another video. Peace.